Now, we have an interval, but we first actually need to set these equal to make sure to see if it hits on this interval or where on this interval it hits. So when you set these equal, that gets kind of crazy. But if you use your double angle formulas, you could rewrite this as cosine 2x is 1 minus 2 sine squared x. And then if I move this all over, I get 2 sine squared x plus sine x minus 1 equals 0. From there, that is a quadratic you can factor. I know it's weird, but that is u, or x and x. And if you factor this, you multiply these two numbers, you get negative 2 on top, that's a 1 on bottom, that would be 2 and negative 1. So you end up, I'm going to leave it as x's and plug in x later, that is x plus 2, x minus 1. And then don't you divide by this 2 you multiplied in? So I now have x plus 1 times 2x minus 1. Now instead of x's, what is it really? It's really sine. So this is sine x plus 1, and this is 2 sine x minus 1 equals 0. So again, what I did here is I went over here, factored it, and acted like sine x was x. So I took this, I factored it as if sine x was x, and then I plugged sine x back in. Now, when does sine x equals negative 1? When does sine x equal negative 1? In this interval? In this interval, counting the edges, is it this one right here? And is it this one? Or is it just this one? So this one is x equals negative pi over 2. When does sine x equal 1/2? Because remember, add the 1 over, divide by 2. When does sine x equal 1/2? Is it this point right here? Is there any other points where sine x equals 1/2? No, the only one would be at x equals pi over 6. So, those are my solutions to this, and my solutions are my endpoints. So, all that work to say that these endpoints are actually where they cross. So, these are where they cross. I found those two values. I now am going to make an integral from negative pi over 2 to pi over 6. Next question is, which one's on top, which one's on bottom? So I'm going to do, what's the value between these? 0. F of 0 is going to be sine 0, which is, what's sine at 0? 0. And g of 0 is cosine 2 times 0. Sorry, 2 times 0, which is 1. So which one's bigger? This is 2 times 0. Really ugly. This would be 1. So this is always going to be bigger. So this is going to be cosine 2x minus sine x dx. So this one's going to be the top one. This one's going to be the bottom one in the interval. We now integrate. Now, do you understand we probably get to integrate each one separately? Because isn't this one a u substitution? You're probably going to have to set them up separate because this one's going to be a u substitution. It ends up being a 1/2 integral of cosine is sine. Does that look right? minus, what's the integral of sine? Is it negative cosine? So, where this 1/2 came is I had to do u substitution on this to get this. Now I'm running out of space and time. Can you plug in these values, find your answer? Yes, you could plug in this, calculate it, and you'll get the point where they cross.